It's Thursday, March 22, 2011, and the New York Times has taken to dissecting Carmelo Anthony. Here, roughly 3 weeks after his being traded to New York for 4 of a New York starting 5. Denver's doing very well. New York is not. And the New York Times showing Carmelo in his opening night. The scrutiny begins. Does Carmelo Anthony know why he is in New York? I'm going to read the whole Sports Tuesday article and we'll comment on it and edit it down. Does Carmelo Anthony know why he is in New York? This may sound like a rhetorical or trick question, but it isn't. It isn't. Forcing the Nuggets to deal him to the Knicks always seemed like the prudent move for Anthony, one of the NBA's glamour gunners. You gotta love alliteration. Glamour gunners. Is that alliteration? What is that? When glamour gunners? Alliteration? I think it is. I'll find out. Used to think it was. Glamour gunners. Alliteration. The Knicks were hungry to double their star power after landing Amari Stoudemire last summer. Anthony was eager for a bigger stage than Denver, and outside of Los Angeles, where could he get more visibility than in his native city? Agreed. I agree. I don't know where he could get more. Whereas Anthony was celebrated in football-crazed Denver as a cold-eyed gunslinger. In other words, for all that he was, his new home may inevitably dwell on what he isn't or has yet to show himself to be during his brief opening on Broadway. Just a second. Let's just see who wants me. If there's anything urgent here. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Did Anthony realize that coming to New York would require his proving to be a player who lifts up others and leads by example to help establish the qualities that define a championship caliber team? Big question there. I don't think so. With the arrival of the Celtics at Madison Square Garden on Monday night came the perfect examples of those who put their hands together and demonstrated an understanding and acceptance of what the gesture was supposed to mean. Oh, I get it now. I finally understand the sentence. With the arrival of the Celtics at Madison Square Garden on Monday night came the perfect examples of those who put their hands together and demonstrated an understanding, an acceptance of what that gesture was supposed to mean. I get it. I think you get a lot of young players who say they want to win, and they do, but want to win as long as it's comfortable for them, Doc Rivers, the Celtics coach, said before his team's morning shoot-around. But very few players want to get out of their comfort zone to win. But very few players want to get out of their comfort zone to win. That's a big statement. He was speaking generally, but after a recent stretch in which a frustrated and irritated Anthony appeared to be an example of what was ailing the slumping Knicks, rather than being their prized solution, Rivers' point seemed apropos. Apropos. A-P-R-O-P-O-S, not apropos, as you might think. Apropos. Harvey Arton, using some big words in the Times. What did he mean by comfort zone? Better to let Ray Allen, one-third of Boston's so-called Big Three, explain the transition he made with the Celtics in 2007, scoring 17.4 points a game after averaging 26.4 points a game for Seattle the previous season. Oops. I think they're narrowing in, focusing in on Carmelo Anthony. Truly, you cannot try to come to a team like this and try to win on your own terms. Ooh. He said, I know, because I know when I went from Milwaukee to Seattle, there was a space open for me, like there were 25 points, 6 to 7 rebounds, 5 or 6 assists, based on the void that Gary Payton left. But here, Boston, that void was no longer there. where I needed to shoot the ball 19 to 23 times. So you have to temper how you pick and choose the shots you are going to get and how else you can help to win a game. So you have to temper how you pick and choose the shots you are going to get and how else you can help to win a game. Now, I might have to set a good screen or get a big rebound. B13. Whoops. Set a screen, get a big rebound, or make a sharp cut so someone else can go down the lane for a layup or be open for a three. But that's winning on this team's terms, not on my terms. But that's winning on this team's terms, not on my terms. Allen, of course, was not alone in making statistical sacrifices. Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce each dropped just under 4 fewer points a game that season along the road to the Celtics' 17th and most recent NBA title. As Rivers noted, the winning attitude is not necessarily unrelated to age. In other words, it is necessarily related to age. The glaring differences between the Celtics' mixing and matching of recognized stars and that of the Knicks and even Miami is that all of Boston's were at least 30 and ready to learn the more tedious facts of championship life. Oh, I love this article. The glaring difference between the Celtics' mixing and matching of recognized stars and that of the Knicks and even Miami is that all of Boston's were at least 30 and ready to learn the more tedious facts of championship life. You gotta love it. They had to buy into our defense because at the end of the day, I just believed that we could figure out a way to score, Rivers said, while acknowledging that Garnett's intensity around the rim influenced the others to join the choir. Not to put this all on Carmelo Anthony, because there are numerous unresolved issues with the Knicks that include the question of Coach Mike D'Antoni's commitment to making his defense a priority. But it is fair to wonder just what the Knicks have purchased for $65 million. $65 million, that's what Carmelo Anthony is getting. $65 million. Will Anthony make the full adjustment to D'Antoni's motion offense or ultimately instigate the one insurrection he might get away with because the owner, James L. Dolan, is so invested in him? Oh, very good. Will he understand the need to work himself that much harder so that an opposing jump shooter, see Carlos Delfino on Sunday in Milwaukee, gets a fraction less time to unload? In other words, Carmelo's just not playing intense enough defense. I get it. Is he willing to make the aforementioned hard cut as a decoy, not just because the play dictates he must, but also because he is capable of experiencing the thrill of clearing out space for a teammate to succeed? Oh, this is a heavy article. Is he ready to play with passion each and every night, not just when he has the ball or when the Celtics or the Heat are in town, to plant championship seeds that will flower in the spring? You know, this goes for all of us, in every world. NBA stars soar, dunk, and rain three-pointers for the highlight shows, but Allen compared being on a championship team to being on a football team, being a lineman, one of the workhorses. He added, every team can score. D'Antoni's game plan should suit them because it's a West Coast offense, and all their guys were in the West. But when people talk about chemistry, it's judged basically in the fourth quarter, executing on both ends. If you don't get that, it's because you only want the glory. You only want the glory. He meant the glory of me, not we. Ooh. Whether he bargained for it, the burden is on Anthony to prove he recognizes which won his new and championship-starved city once more. The championship-starved city wants a champion. And maybe they'll get it with Carmelo Anthony. We've been saying this all along. It's going to be tough.